So, hi, I'm Philip Nelson. We're here backstage at the 140 Characters Conference with a lady who needs no introduction, Ann Curry. I think you were part of two of the most powerful sessions today. And, there weren't dry eyes in the house at some points. And I was just wondering, something you said about the advice your dad gave you when you were an 11-year-old girl asking for career advice is to make a difference. And I was wondering how, as a journalist, you're always looking for that story that will make a difference. But now that we have the social media and the ability for you to communicate two ways with people, how has that changed or empowered you to achieve that goal that your dad gave you?
Oh, it's phenomenal. I believe that the way to make a difference is to give people information which gives them power. And there are stories that I fight to get on television. I fight to get on television, and I'm bloodied really sometimes from that fight. But now with Twitter, for example, I don't need to actually ask anybody. I can, if I find that there's some information that would be useful for people to know, that I think that the people could care about, I can post it. I want to be always accurate. I want to be always credible. I want to always be really responsible at making sure that I'm careful with what I post. But I can do that now, and I can see the responses from people. And what I'm noticing is that they also want to do this. That the people who are following me, when they get information that might be useful to somebody else, it's amazing to see how they retweet it, how they send it out. It's unbelievable how fast. And I would say that on Twitter, the information that is retweeted fastest is information that does good for other people. There is this tremendous interest, and I think it's because we have a core need, all of us, each one of us. Each one of us wants to feel useful and valuable, and we all recognize deeply that if we can help someone else suffer less, that adds to our own value. And while your motivation may not be as selfish as that, that's the net effect. Any humanitarian, like Luke Renner, who we met on the panel today, any humanitarian will tell you, when you say, wow, congratulations for doing good for others, any humanitarian would say, but I get more from doing it than I give. And that's the honest truth. And when you start to become someone who wants to be a force of good, and you start to feel that back, it never stops. It's almost like a drug. It's the best drug you could ever have. You want to do it over and over and over again. And people are seeing this, and they're experiencing this, and they're doing this, I think, on Twitter. And as a result, they're saving lives, as we heard from Luke today. His experiences, he told here, he saw people, he knew people's lives were saved because of information that was passed via Twitter. And so that is the power, not of Luke or of me, but of the masses who make that voice. We talk about in this democracy, when people go, it used to be that people would go out, and they still do, but it used to be that in greater numbers they would go out and protest, and the louder the noise, the larger the group, the more the placards, the more you were heard, and the more you helped change the world. Well, now, really, I think Twitter, I think social media is the demonstration. It's a place where people can be heard, and they're heard. We can, heck, I mean, who isn't on Twitter now? Who isn't involved in it now? So I think it's a major force for good and a real change agent for our democracy.
You also mentioned some role models that you've had in journalism, and I'm just wondering, just thinking, how could their careers have changed and their impact have changed with the tools that you have today in social media, and that ability to just reach such a large audience and then get that instant feedback? How could history have changed?
If Nelson Mandela had been able to Twitter from his cell, how long would he have been in it?
That's pretty awesome.
I think that it's hard to fully understand how the impact might have been. But I think that the future will be that there will be less injustice in the world that is unspoken. There'll be fewer people who are unseen. And I think that there'll be a greater valuing of individuals versus those who are so powerful and important and famous. I think we are moving into a time where we understand the truth, which is that we all matter, that no one of us matters more, that we're all valued, and that while some of us have more power than others, that does not represent our value. And I think that's the future. I think Twitter's showing us that, and I think other forms of social media are showing us that, and I think we'll all soon recognize that.
Well, you are a remarkable person. I mean, it's funny. I've watched you for years on television, but seeing you here today I can't tell you how impressive you are, and I really
Thanks.
appreciate you taking some time to chat
Well,
with
I
us.
hope this was useful. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank
Nice
you.
to talk to you.